Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to another Monday Morning Gritt.
Yep, we're glad to have you.
We're glad to listen to us,
Yeah,
of you. We wrote that backwards. How you been, Warren?
I've been
You've had better days?
the allergy attack that I mentioned
Tis the
to you
season.
is I guess it depends on what you're allergic to.
Yeah, if you're allergic to cats and dogs, then it's all every day.
Every day.
I know people who are allergic to cats and dogs. They have a cat and a dog, and then they just take medicine every day.
Wow.
I think it's bad for you long term, but,
Huh.
is it worth not having the love and affection of an animal?
I don't know.
Some people it is.
That's I guess that's for them to decide, but
Yeah, a little easier to make the decision when it's just avoiding peanuts or something like that.
but I was in a meadow.
Yes.
When's
Were
the
you
last time
frolicking?
you've been I didn't frolic.
I think it was at Meadow Park not too long ago.
But so I noticed next to this meadow there was a bunch of boxes stacked up. There was like maybe a couple 100 feet past the sign that said no trespassing,
Okay.
and I was like, why do those boxes look so staticky? And then I was like, oh, they're beehives. I'll bet the bees
Yes.
love the meadow.
They love the meadow. Well,
Yeah.
you can get different types of honey depending on what area a bee is around. So, depending if it's a meadow, then you can get clover honey sometimes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was clover.
Well, the bees love the clover.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite kinds of honey.
I like a good meadow. I think the meadow is underrated, criminally underrated.
What would you place like above or below it?
I would place the meadow above
The tundra.
well, certainly above the parking lot.
Above the parking lot, yes.
Yes.
The meadow is above the parking lot.
Maybe
The parking
even-
lot's pretty far down there.
Maybe
Unless you need to park.
maybe even above the lawn. You ever notice
Meadows
like
above the lawn.
a lot of parks, it'll be like a big lawn, but it's like I feel like we could put some meadow action in there. It doesn't have to be all meadow, but maybe a little.
A lawn is nicer, but it takes more maintenance.
Yeah, and the bees, they like the meadow.
That's true. I think bees like a lawn too, though.
They maybe a little. Not as much as the meadow though.
No, not as much.
Meadow is probably better than the surface of the moon.
Ooh, that's kind of a big swing there. I got to think about it. I mean, it's more habitable for humans and most creatures probably, but it's less exotic.
Yeah.
The moon is very exotic, and it's got less gravity. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
I think I'd like less gravity if I could choose it.
You think so?
Yeah, if I could choose the gravity, I'd probably go 0.9, what it is right now,
Oh, yeah.
just so we could jump a little higher.
You think it'd have, like, some adverse effects long term?
Oh yeah, our bones would deteriorate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, probably our vascular system wouldn't work as well.
I guess that's probably... It's probably better than being uncomfortably heavy all the time,
Definitely.
you know?
Well, I heard that's why we haven't gone to Mars yet. It's not the technology of the spacecraft. It's the biotechnology of like our bodies being in no gravity for up to 3 years.
Yeah, that is a
You
long
know,
time.
that's not good for your bones or your heart.
I get upset enough if it's like a 10-hour car trip. I don't think I could do 3 years.
Exactly.
But yeah, I went to the meadow in Sumner. You know, I thought Sumner was pretty much all warehouses nowadays.
Okay.
It's getting there though.
The meadows are turning to warehouses, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean that's just the way Sumner's been for a while. It's warehouses or factories.
Yeah,
It used to be farmland, but you know, with all the goods getting imported and stuff, they got to be sorted and packaged somewhere.
from warehouser to warehouses,
Yep.
as I like to say.
Hello, Willie. Willie walked in with a
With a popsicle.
popsicle, which a popsicle does sound nice.
It's a nice day for it.
Yeah, although I will say, you know, pretty chill weekend, like in terms of temperatures. Like mostly overcast, rained on Saturday. It's been a while since it rained.
Yeah, it's nice when it rains. Like, it chills the air a little.
Yeah,
Gives
it
the green a little less crisp.
cleans up the air a little bit too.
Yeah, I guess it's been smoky around the world.
Yeah, we're starting to get a bit of a haze out in the Cascades, but not nearly as bad as what's been going on in New York.
Yeah, not nearly as bad as it was a few years ago.
Which I guess that it's caused for renewed,
Vigilance?
well, not just vigilance, but calls for like better forest management.
Oh, of course. Well, I know all about that. I could tell you a long story, but better forest management's always a priority.
Yeah, I think like even Patty Murray, who I believe is one of our representatives or senators. I think she's a senator. Yeah, it was like up on Capitol Hill. Like we gotta do better.
Yeah, well, it's because like a lot of the education budget for the state comes out of Washington State forest lands, and those are actually managed like fine.
Yeah.
But the real ones forestry is becoming like a different kind of investment part of your portfolio.
Right.
Because like green is so valuable.
Right.
And it makes it so you don't need less return on your investment when you have something like that.
Right.
And it's also just so there's a lot of new types of investors who don't necessarily know how to prioritize the management.
Well, do you know who like manages like federal forests? Like
federal forests? That's a good question. I think it's the Department of the Interior.
Okay, yeah. Or is it the Department of Agriculture?
I think it's the Interior.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's what
there's a kind of a battle between ag and forestry.
Okay. Because I think that's what like a lot of the concerns about forest management revolves around is federally owned timberland.
Yeah.
But and that goes for the Canadians too.
Oh yeah, well they're messed up in different ways as well. They have a huge beetle problem up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they.
Would you believe that like 40% of the world's forests have been eaten by beetles?
You know what? I actually can believe that because when I was growing up, there was some sort of beetle that ate, I think, pine trees it was, or just any like softwood conifer
devastated
tree.
A lot of Western Europe.
And they had to cut them all down, every single one of them. Like the woods just looked like a war zone all of a sudden.
It's not salvageable either.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Unlike with a fire, where the wood actually is salvageable after.
And like
just chars the outside.
Most of, I thought most of the woods where I lived were mainly deciduous, but man, when they cut down like all the evergreens, it really thinned out the woods. You don't realize how big of a part of the ecosystem they are until they're all gone.
Well, you don't realize you live in a forest till you take an airplane.
Yeah.
We do. Sometimes I do think we're lucky when I look out our window and I can see 10 different species of trees.
Yeah.
All relatively native.
Yeah. It's this part of Tacoma actually has a pretty decent tree canopy.
Yeah.
I know some parts don't. Like I know around the Tacoma Mall, there's been a big push to plant more trees there.
Yeah, well, that's like the center of of all,
the heat
freeway
problem.
And, all of the big roads converge at that point.
It's a giant, it generates a ton of heat. Like those are the hottest neighborhoods in the city, and I think Tacoma is trying to get 30% canopy coverage by 2030.
Oh wow,
which is ambitious, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're trying to plant more city trees. I guess the only thing you have to be concerned with is making sure you have a good diversity in your trees, because you don't want Dutch elm disease.
Oh yeah, or anything where you have monoculture.
Yeah,
you're susceptible to just putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. But have you ever been to Madame Lou's up in Seattle?
No, I don't think so. What is it?
It's just a venue for like shows and performances. They got a bar too. That's where I went and saw Little Stranger. A couple weeks ago. We
Yeah, 2
I'm
weeks
sure our
ago.
viewers noticed that we missed
That's
an
right.
episode.
We missed a week, so we got a little bit extra to
little
catch up
little
on.
catching up to do, but that's where I saw Little Stranger. Cool venue. I guess the room we were in, it's called like the crocodile room because on the ceiling, suspended from the ceiling, is just a big fake crocodile skeleton.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
A fake crocodile skeleton?
Yeah, I think it's made out of wood or something. It doesn't
okay.
look like bone. But, I mean, I'm sure, like, it's huge. And, I mean, I've heard of, like, saltwater crocodiles getting to, like, 29 feet long. So, I'm sure a crocodile can get that big. But, yeah, cool place. It was a fun show. It's hard to beat live music.
There is something special about it when you feel it in pumping through you.
Especially, I've noticed smaller venues are a lot of fun.
Where it's a more intimate experience.
Yes.
And everyone can be a little bit more on the same page, I feel, in those kinds of shows.
I think so, too. Or, like, I was just looking at tickets or something at Climate Pledge Arena, and, like, there are seats where it's, like, partial view of the stage, and it's like, what?
Yeah. Well, maybe you are blind and you just need the audio experience.
I think there's maybe just like they were like $59, like the partial view tickets, like that you couldn't see.
For who?
Who was this? I think Lil Baby.
Okay.
Maybe. But anyways, as soon as you go down into one of the lower bowls, like the next bowl down where you can see the stage completely, it's like $300.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if like it's just like, being there's enough for some people. I think.
Yeah,
to
check it off your list and to say I've been there and I've seen it live.
But yeah, speaking of music, I think I may have told you Smash Mouth coming to Chambers Bay Golf Course.
Yeah, I hear they're gonna play a little sweet chin music.
Who else are they with? I forget who there's another group that they're playing with, which, I was kind of surprised. I haven't heard anything about Smash Mouth since the Sturgis motorcycle rally back in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Do you think they got a new album coming up?
No.
I mean, Astro Lounge Part 2?
Oh, Astro Lounge. Oh, my goodness. If we could get Astro Lounge Part 2, I mean...
That'd be kind of sick.
That would be amazing.
Maybe they could play Astro World.
Ooh. That would be
kind of sick.
That would be sick.
If they got Smash Mouth to do Astro World.
Just they just played the whole album.
This time 1,000 people die.
Smash Mouth sicko mode.
Exactly.
I don't even know if there's going to be 1,000 people to watch Smash Mouth at the Chambers Bay Golf Course, but
yeah, well, I don't know how many seats they have at the venue.
I think it's just a big lawn.
Well, you can fit a lot of people on the lawn.
You can crush a lot of people on a lawn too.
That's true. Even more in a meadow.
Crowd control's crazy. Like just it's a science.
Oh, you mean like the psychology of it?
Yeah, the psychology of it, like the science behind it.
Yeah.
Like you ever seen just like a video of a big crowd and it's just like
it's kind of
wheat
scary
in the wind? Like
it's surprising people don't get crushed more easily.
Yeah, I guess there comes a certain density.
Like you ever see like the Hong Kong protests?
And
you're like, Jesus, there's 1 million people in like 3 square blocks.
Yeah.
How is there enough oxygen?
That's probably part of the problem is oxygen deprivation. I mean, there's like the suffocating from getting crushed
so
too,
hot
but
too.
like
think how hot you are.
Especially if like you're in an enclosed space. But I forget. There's like a certain density. It's of like people per square meter where you like no one has any more control of what direction they go. You just kind of get carried with a current, and that's like a scary thought.
Well, it's the hive mind.
You ever been in sort of like a crowd that was like really crazy and it was like, oh, there's no more control anymore?
Yeah, where I was like lifted off my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good sensation.
Actually, I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. I think I didn't like it because I was with a friend, and then the guy in front of us started freaking out. Like, he started losing his shit, and he
when
was
it's
like,
negative, that can turn.
he was like threatening to like hit people if they don't back up, and it's
Oh,
like, well,
yeah.
we can't really.
Yeah, what am I gonna do
We
here?
can't move either.
I have no mobility,
Yeah,
utility.
but that's the way things go sometimes.
But Little Stranger was good.
Yeah, Little Stranger was good, and Damn Skippy was there too. Little Stranger was like the headliner, but they asked Damn Skippy to come on back out and perform with them, and
Oh, that's nice.
he did this one thing. Macy posted it on his Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, where it's like you rap all the letters of the alphabet.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had some guys get a whiteboard out for him, and he just like write the letter up on the whiteboard, and then just like rap out only using that letter. And then
like
all
alliteration.
all the way like A through Z.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's not the first time I've seen it done, but it was the first time I've seen it live. So
Done by him, you mean, or you?
like I've seen other people do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do they use the same words?
No, they don't. Which is interesting because there's some of those letters where it's like X. I can't think of very many X words. Yeah.
You gotta say Christmas tree.
Not really.
You gotta say Zanzibar.
I think that's a Z.
Yeah, you gotta say
Xanax.
Yeah, X-ray.
Xanax has an X.
Yeah. There's a lot of them where they just say X in them. X-ray.
That's why like baby books are like terrible at teaching kids like their alphabet, I think, because like there's some letters like usually like the X category is going to be like X-ray or xylophone, but like that doesn't fit 99% of the way you use X.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because usually it's after an E.
Yeah. Same thing with like Q
For
and U.
example.
Like Q is almost always going to be with U. But I don't know. English is also just a strange language in that it's sort of just built by users rather than being like sort of controlled and planned by like academics or something like that.
It's strange, yet it's the most familiar. You have any other big event? I imagine there was some we didn't talk about the doubleheader last weekend.
No, we didn't.
But I imagine there's even more soccer updates.
Oh, there are. Well, so go to the doubleheader. Big game against Portland. It's a derby, right? Local derby rivalry. I mean, turnout's huge.
Is how often are games sold out?
Games sell out. So here's the thing. There's a caveat on that. Games sell out pretty regularly if they only open the lower bowl.
Okay.
Right? The stadium itself almost never sells out for MLS.
Okay.
I mean,
how much more is the upper bowl? Like, how many more seats is that?
So lower bowl and like the north end is probably going to be about 30,000, and then if they open up all of the upper bowl, they can get, I think, another 30,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot more.
It's a lot more. It's significantly more.
Okay.
But yeah, I've only seen the only sellout crowd I've actually been to was the CONCACAF Champions League final.
Okay, that would make sense.
But it happens for other things too, like
football.
Football, of course, but also if we make it till the MLS Cup, right, which is like soccer's Super Bowl.
It was sold out then.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I think the previous attendance records were set during that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's.
So how was this in comparison then?
This was
they
probably
opened the upper bowl.
Part of it. Okay. They didn't open up the whole thing, so it was probably, I don't know, maybe like 45,000.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty big crowd. But it was a draw.
Draw for the men's game.
Yep, draw for the men's game.
And then how many people stuck around for the women's game?
Not very many.
Did they close it down to just the lower bowl?
No, because I mean, if if you bought a ticket for the doubleheader, you had your seat for the entire thing. Like,
so
it's
that
not,
if you were up there, you were
yeah,
up there.
you were. I mean, you probably could have migrated down because I will say, by the time by the time the women's game was in like the last 15 minutes, I would say maybe a sixth of the original crowd was still there.
Okay, so down from 36,000 to 6,000.
Something like that. Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, everybody is so fired up for the Portland Seattle men's game, right? That by the time the women's game comes around, you're pooped.
You're tired.
You'll want to go home.
What time was the game?
So men's game started at 1:30, and then the women's game started at 5.
Okay, yeah, that could be a long day.
Yeah, that was a long day. The women lost. The Rain lost to the Thorns,
no.
which, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, given that the Thorns, I think, are the best team in the NWSL right now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're at the top, at least at the top of the West.
Well, no shame in losing to the best.
Yeah, but I was kind of hoping like
They'd make up for it.
at least we'd win something today.
No dice.
At least when you get a draw, the other team gets to go home disappointed too.
That's true, but not when you lose.
Not when you lose, no. But and then.
So then, did you go to a game this last weekend too?
We were away in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. So there's no updates.
Crazy game.
Oh yeah.
3-3 draw, but incredible goals being made. But drew again.
Well, I guess we were the ones who go home disappointed.
Yeah. But it's rough, but it also reminds you not to take winning for granted.
Yeah, that's true.
And not to count other teams out, especially ones that you think might not cut the mustard.
They never
Sometimes
know.
they do.
They bring it out.
It's
about you never know.
The grace.
Any given Sunday, they say.
Some of those goals, like just the grace and the precision and the class. It was like, wow. Like, I don't like that team very much, but I gotta hand it to them.
Gotta give it up.
Yeah, actually, I don't really care much about like Charlotte. Like, I don't like them. I don't dislike them because they're over in the East. So it's like most Eastern Conference teams. I'm like, well, okay.
Charlotte's West Virginia.
No, Charlotte,
Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, where the Panthers play. Which
That's
I'm
right.
I'm a bit jealous because we're not allowed to have smoke bombs in Lumen Field. Like, no smoke devices or pyrotechnics.
Why not?
Well, that's just like the venue's rules, and
okay.
I thought maybe that was because it's a football venue, and then I saw the Charlotte FC fans setting off blue smoke in their stands, and I was like, hey, that's a football stadium too.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I'd like smoke at Lumen Field. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I like that effect.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the Chicago Fire used to do a bunch of road flares, like, you have
smoke and fire, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
that's a show.
Yeah, don't wear anything polyester though; it'll burn little holes in it. The embers from the.
Oy.
Yeah, but
So it goes. I got a story from this last week.
Yeah.
So a couple days ago, probably like 5 days ago now, our internet goes out.
This has been going on for a while now. The internet outage.
So have you've had your internet go out? We all have.
Yeah,
and you kind of like
back on for
go through the stages of maybe I'll wait, it'll come back on.
Yeah.
Let me reset the router. Let me reset the modem.
Yeah.
Let me check if there's like an outage in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
To go through all those steps, find out a website that's the bill is paid, there's no outages in the area. Then I go to the app. It says maybe they go to the app, and it says that there's been we were part of a forced migration from CenturyLink to
Xfinity or something like that.
No, this other one I hadn't even heard of. It's like
Rainier Connect,
Quantum or something.
Quantum
or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah. So apparently, like, CenturyLink is owned by another company, and then there's like a sister company to CenturyLink that does fiber. And so, because we're on like the fiber line, they migrated us over, but they didn't notify us or create a new account.
Oh my goodness.
And then they like undid it and took us back, but it messed with our modem some way. And every time we call, it's a different answer. A different like this is the problem and nothing's fixed. And it's been like 5 days now. Because like we have to go into the place, and they're not open on the weekends.
Oh.
So we were literally on the phone for 4 hours on Friday trying to figure it out, because it happened on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we really tried to investigate, Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then we really tried to investigate Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and then so hopefully it'll be fixed today. But
yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, not having the internet's tough. Well, it's not really that tough, but you want to have the internet.
If you're like me, I feel like, and you just like live alone in an apartment. If the internet goes out, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I mean, I got like some backup downloaded movies and stuff like that. So I've just been watching movies, but your phone has data or whatever. But even still,
that's rough. Forced migration.
I know. It's like, what am I, on a fucking Trail of Tears over here?
It's fucking ethnic cleansing for internet service provider customers.
It was like that South Park episode with the Margaritaville.
Oh yeah. The new TCC location is fully
it's up and running.
Yeah, fully operational.
I've been working there now. There's 2 sets of weekends now, and it's nice that the comics say it's a kill box, because it's the laughs really echo off the room.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
A good place to get tapes.
Yeah, so there's 2 open mics there this last week, Monday and Thursday. I think both of them went really well. Like people were doing, the crowd laughs loud, and people walk in off the street, so it's a bunch of real audience members. So
nice.
I think it's got the promise to be one of the better mics in the state.
Yeah. It was this weekend for the downtown location. Was it Mike Epps' weekend?
It was.
How'd the boys do?
Well, Mike Epps went very long on Friday.
Oh.
I think he didn't get off stage till 2 o'clock in the morning.
No way.
Yeah, so it's a lot more work with not any more pay. Or hardly any. And also, when you get off that late, nobody gets their shift drinks, which everyone gets a free shift drink.
That's right.
But after 2, you can't you serve alcohol, so everyone was very upset with that. Or all the alcoholics were, at least.
Yeah.
Which is most people.
Yeah. But they survived.
Yeah, I think so.
That's good.
So far, so good.
Yeah. A little piece of news, or maybe just like discussion too. The Pierce County Ferry is under a lot of scrutiny lately.
Oh my goodness, tell me about it.
15 breakdowns this year.
It's really wreaked havoc with my parents' ability to go to Anderson Island.
And 138 cancellations in the first 3 months of 2023 compared to 90 all year for 2022.
Oof. I wonder why.
Well, there's only one right now. There's only one.
It's because only one's running. If that one breaks down, it's more catastrophic.
Exactly.
More calamitous.
Exactly. And like the thing is, the other one is at dry dock for a mandatory Coast Guard inspection. Now, I think the county is like, well, we can't help this. But it's like, but you knew it was coming. It happens every few years.
Exactly.
Like, you couldn't contract out another, like, some sort of alternative.
Figure a stopgap.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, it seems like the county kind of got
been stranded,
caught with its pants down.
It made me want to get in my own boat, just to go over to the island.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't have to rely on the big ferry.
I think the big hang up for a lot of people is, they have cars, right? Which
you need a car.
Yeah.
Well, unless you live on the beach.
Yeah, I got that's true. That's true. But yeah, mostly it's been generator failures. It seems
Oh
like
yeah.
on the vessel.
Hmm.
Um, and here's the thing: is like, I think the county is trying to figure out how they're like also going to continue funding the ferries, because right now the ferries the ferries cost, I think, $11 million to operate annually. They only
Hmm.
make $6 million back in revenue.
Oh no, that's not good.
$5 million dollars comes from the county road fund.
Interesting. The
Yep.
county road fund.
Yes. So the county, budgets out a certain amount of money for roads, right?
Okay.
Now, what the county has been doing is been taking money out of the road fund to keep the ferry system afloat.
Okay.
The county doesn't like doing
Yeah.
this,
Why
though.
does it cost so much? Is it the fuel?
Well, they're it's all contracted out, right? So it's
Yeah, I
like
guess so.
the staffing, the facilities, the ships themselves, like
ships themselves, I
it's
guess
all
that makes sense.
contracted out. And yeah, it only makes up like
Half the budget.
half, in revenue. Rate hikes have been proposed,
Yeah,
but
what are you gonna double the rate?
pretty much like over. I forget what the exact proposal was, but
I
it was
think
this.
right now it's like $20 for your car and and driver.
I think it
and
was.
each passenger is like 6.
I think it was a 15% increase annually for the next decade.
Mm.
So
I guess that's a reasonable way to do it.
yeah, well, I think that got shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the county is also like, well, these breakdowns are inevitable and stuff, and it's like, well, either one, you need to have more contingency plans in place, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Two, there's like 5 other county operated
Ferry
systems in the state.
Yeah.
And like
Do they run a deficit like that?
no other one has nearly the issues that the Pierce County ferry system has, it seems like. At least just at a glance, right?
Yeah.
I haven't dug into it too deep, but the other thing is like 3, maybe the county's just like,
They just got a lemon of a ferry.
yeah, perhaps. I mean, they're supposed to be good for 50 years. I think one was built in 1990 and the other was built in 2006.
Oh, then yeah, you should be more than good.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not a generator mechanic for a ferry, but it's like, it just seems like it's been happening
things, but not for a
more
ferry.
and more often, and we're getting into peak ferry season.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So,
usually it's like Memorial Day through Labor Day they get the extra ferry or something like that.
yeah, so it's I'm sure for residents of Anderson Island it is very frustrating, and I think
Yeah, and Ketron.
I think there is an understanding of most residents of the island. Sometimes you have to make some sacrifices, right, if you want to live on an island. But like at a certain point, it's like when you look at the increase in cancellations, it's like, geez.
Yeah. When I'm sure a lot of people would rather pay double than have to worry about the potential of a cancellation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the county's just gonna have to find a new company to contract ferries through, or I don't know what.
Yeah,
but
maybe I should start my own ferry service.
yeah, start a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's like one of those things that it like has to almost be publicly operated because like just the profit incentive just
You could
is
never
not,
make
you
money
can
on it.
never make money on it.
Yeah, I could see it being that way.
But yeah, it's
Build a bridge.
that would be a big bridge.
Yeah, probably too big.
That would probably be a toll bridge too.
Yeah, of course.
I was at a transportation club meeting. You know who spoke there? Lance Little. He's the director of aviation for Seattle Tacoma International Airport.
Oh, interesting.
Very
what
interesting.
Does that mean?
Well, he's basically the executive that's in charge of like basically all airport upgrades and aviation operations, right?
Oh wow, that's a big thing.
So it's I mean, basically he was going through like the roadmap of like what Seattle Tacoma International Airport is planning on doing, and I think like one big one is the S concourse is getting redone.
Oh
because
yes,
I think it's one of the oldest ones. I think the arrivals and departures area is getting redone.
Okay, that's a big remodel then.
One thing that like kind of bugs me that he brought up, the light rail doesn't start until like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
But it stops at the airport. The airport's pretty much running all the time, and the employees are getting there at like 3, 4 in the morning.
So then the employees can't use the light
rail to get to the airport.
Interesting.
For work.
Except some of them, well, just the first shift can't. I suppose,
Yeah,
right?
which I would argue is maybe the most important shift.
Yeah, for public transportation.
But
yeah, because then they're going to take all the good parking spots.
yeah.
But that's interesting. I don't think it's a 24-hour airport, though, is it?
I don't think any airport is completely 24 hours. Like there's
Which
a few
never
hours.
made sense to me. Why wouldn't they be?
I think there's just like I think there's just a few hours of the day where like the flights you could theoretically schedule in would not justify the operating cost of keeping the airport running.
Yeah, but it just seems like shutting everything down and starting it back up again is. Well, I don't know. I guess they must know.
But he gave a pro tip. It's very crucial. The arrivals and departures, the like how the road, the airport highway like breaks apart and once they go to the same place. The only difference between arrivals and departures is one floor, right? There's escalators all over the place.
Okay.
If arrivals is backed up, just go to departures. It's the same spot.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because what happens is, like, I actually saw this the other day coming back from Seattle.
One of them will be more backed up than the other.
Arrivals is way backed up. Way backed up.
Just go to departures.
Just go to departures.
I like that. That's a pro tip.
But one of the cool...
That's what he said?
Yeah.
That was his tip?
That was his tip.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I thought he was the aviation guy, not the parking guy.
Well, I think I actually got his title wrong. He's director of aviation, not for SeaTac. He's director of aviation for the Port of Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So SeaTac, he's in charge of basically SeaTac. But it is cool to see like. Sort of what the future of the airport will hold. Like, I think they're trying to put together a bus fleet that's like, I think 100% renewable natural gas.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so sustainability is a big deal, I guess, for like shareholders and.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the right thing.
Stakeholders in the airport, but yeah, it's It seems I imagine he's going to have a lot more pressure on him in terms of like upgrading the airport now that it seems like the South Sound Airport has been shot down.
Oh, yeah, I saw they had like their final meeting on that this last week or something.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be, major upgrades to SeaTac or maybe even looking at upgrading Boeing Field.
Oh, that makes more sense to me.
That makes more sense to me too. The problem is I feel like, if you look at SeaTac, there's only but so much land before you have to do a major regrade. Because like.
And that's where Earthworks is where all your money gets sunk.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine the amount of money it probably cost them to do it the first time.
Oh yeah.
But one thing he showed that I thought was really cool was it was a camera attached to a bag, and it just showed just miles of conveyor belts under the airport
Oh.
that the bags travel to get to their planes.
That's very interesting.
And there's like all these scanners and
it's all
stuff.
automated and things go from
Yeah.
place to place.
Yep. And then they just get like, you know,
The
there's
belly of the beast.
The scanner will see what like concourse it needs to go to, and then down the line something will push it onto another line, and it's really cool to see.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be curious even just how it's progressed over time.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gotten pretty sophisticated lately. And then if for any reason like the scanners can't read the bag tag, then it just puts it away in a different area where someone will manually scan it. Yeah, and sort it. Yeah, but it's really cool to see that kind of stuff.
It's like the mail room at Santa's workshop.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
Well, you can imagine.
I yeah, I am imagining.
So you got any Tacoma related events coming up this week?
Ooh, do I? No. No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I thought that I did, but then I don't.
Broadway Farmers Market's going on Thursdays. Check it out. That's a good one.
I think I might go paddleboarding on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Which might be nice.
Yeah, where?
I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
But
yeah.
and then I was gonna do something and then it got canceled. So.
Oh no.
Well, it was just something with my parents. I don't even know what it was.
Oh, yeah. They're like, we're gonna bring you to something,
we're gonna go
but
do
it's
this thing, and then they're like, we're not anymore. I didn't even know what it was.
Canceled.
Yep. So I'm free on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Probably go to the mic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did you go to the mic on Thursday?
I did.
How was it?
It was pretty good. I actually did the bit about the watch and the grandfather clock.
Oh, I wish I saw that. I was at
I did it a little rough, but I might do it again.
Yeah, I was at Cider and Cedar.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That place is awesome. You
Oh
need
yeah.
to
Who runs that?
go. I don't know actually.
Oh well, let's give him a shout out to whoever it is.
Cider and Cedar
Yeah.
on Market. There's also another location somewhere else. I don't know where it is, but it's out there.
I believe you.
But yeah, really cool ciders.
Did you have a fun one?
Yeah, I had a. Oh man, what was it? It wasn't apricot.
Ooh,
Oh man, what was it?
Marionberry.
I don't even remember anymore.
Well, it must have been great then.
I had a bourbon cider. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah,
but it
I've
tasted
never heard of that.
amazing.
Really, a bourbon cider?
Yeah,
That's a good choice. I might have to
yeah.
keep my eyes peeled.
They had a raspberry habanero one there.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about spicy
Yeah,
cider.
I don't know if I like that either. I do like habanero if I'm gonna choose a pepper though.
Yeah. Oh, I think the one I had was like cherry pomegranate.
There we go.
Cherry pomegranate.
That's full of antioxidants.
Yeah, yeah. I also had like a pineapple one, but it wasn't like a sweet pineapple. It was a dry pineapple. So like you got like notes, like a heavy pineapple note, but it wasn't like.
But it didn't have the citrus zing.
Yeah, yeah, not quite, and it wasn't very sweet. It was very dry. It's kind of like drinking.
Sophisticated
It's like a
It was like a dried pineapple.
pineapple wine.
That actually sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, they got this food there. It's called a bao, like
Oh, yeah.
B-A
Like a
B-O-A.
humbao? It's
Yeah,
like a bread thing with
Yeah.
that's stuffed inside.
it's delicious.
Yeah, I used to love getting a humbao on Pike Place Market.
Yeah,
Right
they're
up-
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the food's good there too, and I mean the decor. I mean, just like big pieces of tree that were just polished and sanded down and used for countertops and decoration. It's really nice. I think you'd like it.
I think that might be our recommendation of the week.
Yeah, go check out Cider and Cedar.
Cider and Cedar.
On
There
Market.
it is. All right. Well, if that's it, I think. Do you got anything else, or should we wrap it up for the week?
I think we'll wrap it up.
All right. Well, to all you Grittisons out there, I hope you have a good rest of your week and live life like the mountain's out.